morning, and welcome to the shed once again. I've got something to show you again. A piece of wood, really strong and useful material. This is metal, but it's in the form of a spring. And I do that again. There we are, springing back into shape. I've served an engineering apprenticeship, and very early in my studies as an engineer, I had to learn things about materials, definitions about different things. What does a metal perform like? And the words I had to define was malleability. Is a material malleable, or is it elastic? This is elastic, isn't it? It's very elastic, and as soon as you release the tension, it springs back to its normal place. Elasticity or ductility. And early in my apprenticeship, I had to learn what these terms meant for certain materials that we were working with. But I want to ask the question today is, what is the definition of love? What is the definition of love? Remember last time we thought of love, the great subject of love. The great world is full of love, and there's love in our hearts, isn't it? What is the definition of love? Well, there's a little miniature cross that we have, and here are some nails that we see, useful things in the shed. The definition of love. Because the sinless Saviour died, my sinful soul is counted free, for God the just is satisfied to look at Jesus and pardon me. What is the definition of love? Well, surely we today will turn our eyes upon Jesus and his cross. I was very challenged recently by reading this book. Jonathan has asked us to read it, hasn't he? It's City Lives. And there's numerous testimonies in City Lives that will help us as we think of God's wonderful love today. And this is what a High Court judge, Jeremy Cook, says. Hear what he says. The gospel records in the Bible are second to none in reliability among ancient manuscripts. The originals were all written in the lifetime of eyewitnesses. People who were there at the time record what they say, they saw and heard. The copies we have amount to some 25,000 manuscripts of varying antiquity, with the earliest dating back to AD 120. No other writing of antiquity can compare to the gospel. The evidence that these accounts put before us is very impressive. And the judge goes on then to describe the great, wonderful love of God. And this is what he says. Jesus, having been sentenced, flogged and nailed to a cross through his wrists and heels, had died a long and painful death. Any suggestion that the Roman executions failed in their job is ridiculous. Jesus was definitely dead. His body had then, on that Friday, been laid in a rock tomb, ritually washed and clothed in white linen and spices to hide the smell of decomposition. The tomb was then sealed with a huge millstone weighing some 1.5 tons, rolled in place across the entrance and guarded by a detachment of 16 soldiers. On the Sunday morning, the stone was found rolled away. The grave clothes were found lying in the tomb, and the body was gone. And then, over a 40-day period, lots of people, different characters, at different times and in different places, said they had seen Jesus alive. They said they had walked and talked with him and even touched him. How can we define love? Well, we come back to our reading today in the first epistle of John, chapter 3 and verse number 16. How can we define love? This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us. I referred already today about my engineering apprenticeship, and all those years ago when I was working in a factory, I was chosen to meet the Prime Minister of our country. I won't tell you who it is, you'll have to guess that. And I met him, I shook his hand, and reflecting on that, there is one day when I will meet Jesus Christ. How can we prepare for that wonderful event? We need to believe that Jesus died for us. We need to receive Christ into our very lives, to our master, our Saviour. And we need to live for his glory. May we do that today, and may the God of love fill our hearts and bless us this day. God bless you, and goodbye again. Bye-bye.